Hey folks, RabbitRoars here, and today it's time for a tutorial. It's been a while. It's been like 2 months for me. I had a tutorial brewing, and here it is. Today I'm going to teach you how to do circles, towers, arches, and domes in Minecraft. Oh yeah, it's happening. Hope you enjoy. See you on the flip side. Alright, we're going to do a 15 block diameter circle. That's what we're starting with. Lay down your center square, and then you're going to lay down the crossing lines which make the diameters. How do you figure out how long that should be? Well, take the total, 15, minus the center block, so minus 1. That's going to make 14. Divide that by 2, which is 7. So each spoke coming out from the center block, that red block there, is going to be 7 blocks long. I do it 2 by 2. Makes it easier for me to count. Alright, so I counted 2 by 2 till I got to 6, and then I'm laying down this red block as my 7th block. So 2, wait a minute, here we go. So 2, 4, 6, 7. Each spoke is going to be 7, and that is going to make your 15 block diameter circle. So to make a circle, there's general rules that you follow. And here's the general rule. 1, use odd numbers. Promise, promise, promise. Going to be a lot easier. Second is that the end line of blocks, the perpendicular line at the end of each spoke, needs to be the longest line of blocks in your perimeter. You'll see why. The next general rule is that as you move around the perimeter, each set of blocks goes back 1 and is shorter than the next line of blocks. And then you get to a point where you just have single blocks to fill in the perimeter. So here we go. Our 15 block diameter circle. It's done, and it's gorgeous. We'll be doing more than one circle. I'm trying to move quickly, but here's the thing. If you know how to make a circle, towers are easy. Easy. You just build up the wall. Okay, and ta-da! Yep. Alright, it's short and squat, but that's a tower. Oh my gosh, my dog is howling in the back. Sorry about that. Yeah, there it is. Tower. Alright, we're going to go through the circle making process again because, well, why not? Let's make a larger one. I want to show you that the pattern or the formula works, even though the particular pattern might be different. Okie dokie. So we are making a 27 diameter circle. Center block, this purple block here, is 1, so that is 26 blocks. Divide that by 2, that's 13. So what? So each spoke is 13 blocks long. I finished the other diameter, and now we're going to do the perimeter. So again, we work on the long line of blocks that's perpendicular at the end of each spoke. Each line is going to be the same length, and let's do, it's a larger circle, so let's do a longer line. Let's do 7 blocks. When I first started making circles, I used a template I found online, but now that I have this sort of general formula, I can just sort of wing it. You know, you get the general idea of how to build a circle, and it works. So there we go. We have our long perpendicular lines. Let's move on to the next thing, which is moving back one line. We're going to repeat a pattern, so we're going to do 2 blocks back, and then another line back of 2 blocks. Does that make sense? You can see what I'm doing here though. So there's 2 blocks, there's 2 blocks, it's 1 back from where that first line is, and yeah, so then the second line, which is 1 block back, and then you fill in the difference with single blocks. It actually gets kind of soothing, you know, like just putting blocks down in a pattern. And that's the thing. Oh, wait a minute. I was just talking about patterns, right? That's the thing about circles. I guess you could not follow a pattern, but then you'd have ugly circles, lopsided, misshapen things. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that you follow on each side until it meets up, and then you get something like that. And you thought we were done with circles. Ha! Alright, we're making a 47 block diameter circle, and I'm going to show you a different pattern for the perimeter. Alright, I'll do half this circle. You'll notice we sped it up a little bit. The video, that is. I'll do half this circle the way we did the other circles, without a different pattern, without overlapping the blocks. So I'll put the pattern I'm using, which is very similar to the patterns we had used previously. And then I'll do the other pattern where you overlap the block lines. You'll see. Alright, standard pattern that we've been using done. Let's do the new one. It has overlapping lines. I put the pattern formula up on the screen. So it was 4, then 3 overlap, 3 overlap, 2 overlap, repeat on the other side, or rinse and repeat if you want to put it that way. Yeah, there we go. So 4, 3, 3, see how we're overlapping? And fill in the gap with 1. So yeah, nice, huh? Yeah, so just repeating the pattern on the other half of the circle, and there you go. Alright, so you can see that there's a different pattern on each side, and either one of them creates a circle. So it's the formula that works. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. And here's a big transition. If you know how to make a circle, then you know how to make an arch. You just take half the circle and flip it up in the air, which I am going to do to show you how it's done. So we take our 27 block diameter circle, and 2, 4, 6, 12, 13. Okay, so we are going to go 13 blocks up. I like using alternate colors. Whatever block you're using, do it the way you want. Whatever makes it easier for you. This just makes it easier for me not to mess up. And if I was building in survival or something like that, I would probably still use different types of blocks. Particularly for your scaffolding. That actually is really important. When you're building, especially like building up in the air like this, these arches or domes or circles, whatever, sometimes you need scaffolding. If you use the same block for your scaffolding that you're actually building the arch or whatever with, you're not gonna know absolutely positively, hey, was that block supposed to be there, or is it part of the scaffolding? Whereas if you use a different color or a different type of block, you know for sure. In this case, you know, light blue is what I'm using for scaffolding, and the purple is the actual, this should stay and not be moved. Yeah, so helpful tips incoming arch. I'm just building the diameter out here to 13 and then building up. Okay, now personally this may not be the case for you, but I find building up in the air just a wee bit harder, but it's the same pattern. You know, I went 3 up, now I'm going 2 up, and yeah, come on, you can fly. I think I can fly. Then 2 up, and then you fill in the gaps with 1s. Yeah, here we go. Put that blue block down, and purple. Ta-da! We have half an arch. Huzzah! Now just get rid of your scaffolding, and you're good to go. Just repeat on the other side. Looks nice, huh? Oh, and also, you know, that middle thing you can get rid of too. Alright, so yeah, I finished the other side clearly, and getting rid of the scaffolding, and ta-da! We has an arch, a full arch. Now we get rid of that middle diameter, which we no longer need. The Greeks would be proud of us. And I wanted to show you this. You know, you can gussy up your arches or your circles even. You might want to use a block that's the same color, but you're usually not building with wool like I am here. But you know, there's ways to try and sort of round out an arch a little bit more, or maybe just decorate it a little bit more. So I'm just showing you how hypothetically one might gussy up one's purple wool arch if one was actually building that in Minecraft. Yeah, what else should we use? Ooh, purple slabs, yay. You know what, in my survival world I really should come up with a way to use this color scheme, because it's so ugly that it's kind of pretty. Yeah, it's kind of pretty. So here's our half a circle, and there was our half a circle up in the air. So next big transition. If you know how to make circles, you know how to make arches, and if you know how to make arches, you know how to make domes. Yay! Alright, so what I'm doing here is outline your circle on the ground. I'm putting it in the ground here. You don't have to do it that way. You could do it how I built them before. But here's our 27 block diameter circle. Yeah. And what you're going to do here is build up the first wall. So you go to the end of your spokes and you build up that long line. Okay, that's 1/2. Now let's build up the other half. And yeah, let's build up all the blocks on that perimeter to the same height. And you want to make sure when you're building a dome that you don't... sorry, I'm distracted by the how fast this is going. Woo! Purple blocks going down like a boss. That the height of the first set of blocks is high enough that if you were inside the dome, if your character was inside the dome, they would be able to stand up. So at least 3, maybe 4. You know, give yourself a little room to maneuver. So yeah. Alright, so you built up the wall. You're kind of doing a tower there, right? Now, to make this a dome rather than a tower, you indent one block. So you see what I did there? I indented. So didn't do a tower, which would just be building straight up as tall as you want the tower to go. To make a dome, you indent. So what I'm doing is I'm building, or I was building up on the diameter line all the way up to the top. I'm making my center block. And I'm doing it this way because the diameter lines are easier to build up. You have to be a little bit more careful with the non-diameter lines. I hope that makes sense. You'll see what I mean. In just a moment, I'm finishing this up. Ooh, pretty. And again, you'll see that I was using scaffolding blocks, so I know what stays and what to get rid of easily. And yeah, technically I used a scaffolding block for my center block, but that's just so I know easy peasy which one is my center block. Alright, so my progress update is I did the full diameter, and I built up the blocks on that full diameter. So now that you've built up the perpendicular line, the walls at the end of the diameter, there's a mouthful, do the rest of your perimeter. And again, scaffolding blocks, seriously use them. So you move back one block, you put your scaffolding down, you build up the wall, and you move on. At the end, you can get rid of those scaffolding blocks, but they are a lifesaver. It's so easy to make a mistake when you're building up these walls if you don't use the scaffolding. So, yep, I know, I'm emphasizing it, but you'll thank me. I swear to God, you'll thank me. You'll name your first child after me. No, you won't, but still, you'll thank me. And, alright, yep, sped up the video. Kind of cool, sped up like that. Gosh, I love crazy colors way too much because part of me is like, ooh, what could I use a purple dome for in my survival world? Anyway, so I thought I would speed this up so you could see the whole way through. If you need to pause it, you can pause it. But that it, you know, you can watch the whole thing. It's actually kind of pretty, the scaffolding versus the purple blocks, but not the point of this video. Okay, so building up our dome walls. There's a transition that's going to happen in just a moment or so. At the moment, as we're building up these blocks, or these walls, you know, moving back one block, building the wall up, it's all vertical. There's a point, and we've reached it, where it moves horizontally. And you need to make sure that you also move your blocks back horizontally. And I hope, actually, wait a minute, no, we haven't made it all the way around. Alright, you're going to see in a moment. Okay, here we go. So, see what I mean? The blocks are going back horizontally, and you need to make sure that you put in right here, see? Otherwise, oof, the dome will look a little off. So just make sure you don't miss those. Move back horizontally. Except for the very last block, and I'll show you what I mean. Or the last layer. Okay, so I built up my scaffolding here, right? And technically, it's moved back vertically. Right? So per what I just said, hey, you should put a block back, but don't, because it will look weird and it's better to put a block on top. So Don't move back horizontally, just put the block, not there, which I did, I put it there to show you, but there. And here, I'll show you. So, don't put it there, put it there. And one more time, with gusto. Not there, but there. This makes for a nicer design. I'm getting rid of that extra one that I put in. Yeah. So it'll look good from the inside. Alright, woo! Dome is done. It looks good. It's pretty. It's very pretty. You can smooth it out if you want to smooth it out. There's ways that one could do that. Yeah, domes are now yours to make. Make them left, make them right. In fact, don't ever build a square in Minecraft again. It's all domes. Alright, I wanted to show you something. Remember how I was talking about the long line at the end of the diameter, the perpendicular line, and that it feels weird to build it? See, here's what happens if you try to sort of round that out by adding more blocks. It makes it look kind of like a triangle. Also, thought I'd show you how you can smooth out the dome a little bit. Granted, if you were building this in survival or something, you'd probably use blocks and half slabs that were of the same type rather than wool and these purple, or however you say that block name. But you get the general idea. See how it kind of smooths it out a little bit, makes it a little rounder. Yeah, I should probably put one there. And now, personally, I like it the way it was before, but technically that rounds it out a little bit on the top. Alright, and then remove your scaffolding. You don't need it. Makes it a little more roomy inside the dome. I mean, you don't have to remove the scaffolding if you're not going to use the inside of the dome, but see, just makes it a little nicer. Oop, extra block there. And yeah, see? Look how pretty. And again, pattern, follow the formula, it looks really good. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Haven't done a tutorial in a while. I tried to speed this one up a bit. Gosh, go out there, make your circles, make your domes, make your arches, have a good time. I really hope this helped.